The second incident that we want to show you is another example of video policing, a great example. But this is one where our cadets were actually proactively monitoring an area. We have trained them to look at each of the cameras that are in place and to proactively monitor areas looking for suspicious activity. And so on September 15th at 9:15 p.m., a video camera located at 7th and McKinley captured two suspects in the act of tagging fences in the neighborhood. The first suspect is a juvenile that is very well known to our graffiti detectives. In fact, he is part of the CYA, or Controlling Your Neighborhood Tagging Crew. In fact, this individual has been arrested 3 times this year, 2 times for felony vandalism and 1 for misdemeanor vandalism, and he is awaiting prosecution. And we're hopeful that with this video evidence that we have, it will allow for a successful prosecution. Suspect's also been arrested for previous disturbance at a school, so we know that this individual is a habitual offender. The video will show that this suspect and another male juvenile were spray painting 2 fences on 7th and McKinley, and the quality of the video is extremely clear once it's zoomed in, and at one point that the primary suspect looks right into the camera and gives us no doubt in terms of who he is.
Does the image, because it's night video, does it kind of have like the features so that you can see it clearer in the night? Is that kind of part of it?
Yeah. These are high quality cameras that give us the ability, even during hours of darkness, to be able to see facial features, as you just saw in that video. I got to tell you, as a police chief, that I get pretty excited watching these videos because these are the very people that have been plaguing our neighborhoods throughout our city, painting on fences and destroying property. And for us now to have the ability to see those individuals, even when a police officer is nowhere near, and to be able to actively monitor them, to record their activity, and to know that we're going to be able to successfully prosecute them based on the video evidence that we have in our presence. So that is something that is extremely exciting for us. I know it's exciting to the cadets. I wish I was a cadet again so I could go down there and monitor these.
We'll let you use them once.
All right. Our final video shows a perfect example of how, again, active monitoring and a great communication with our police officers leads to the tracking down of 2 suspects that were involved in a robbery, and to be able to guide our officers into the arrest. And also when one of the individuals tried to hide the backpack that was taken in the robbery, and so our video was able to capture all of this. On Saturday, September 20th at 5:20 in the morning, a 19-year-old homeless man was inside a restroom at a parking lot garage in the 1000 block of Van Ness Avenue. While inside the restroom, 2 suspects confronted the victim and demanded his backpack. When the victim refused, the pair began to beat him, striking the victim at least 10 different times. And I want you to know that during our crime view sessions, we have had a trend over the last several months of robberies that are occurring of some of our street people, and possibility these individuals may be engaged in some of that activity. One of the suspects, later identified as 18-year-old Robert Crawford, pulled out a straight razor from his pocket. The victim, who feared for his safety at that time, gave the suspects his backpack, and the victim found a nearby payphone and called the police department to report the robbery. Immediately, the Fresno Police Video Policing Unit began to actively monitor the camera at Mariposa and N Street at police headquarters. Mind you, our cadets are in our dispatch communications center right now. That's where the cameras are set up. You're more than welcome to go see them. And so they are hearing these calls as they come out, or monitoring the screens of these calls when they go out to our officers. While patrol units search for the suspects, a video policing unit cadet spotted the suspects as they walked across M Street towards the police department. Another cadet took over the video surveillance, while the cadet who first spotted the suspects began the communication process, making sure that the officers in the field were aware of the suspect's directions, description, and so forth. Within seconds, units spotted the pair who ultimately tried to hide the backpack just out of the camera's view. And officers contacted the suspects and they arrested them after positively having them identified. The primary suspect is an 18-year-old African-American male identified as Robert Crawford. And the second suspect, who we're not able to release his name, is a 16-year-old Hispanic male who's a member of a Bulldog street gang. The second suspect, the Bulldog gang member, after his arrest, his grandmother was contacted, and she told us that she was not surprised that he had been arrested, and he had just been let out of juvenile hall. And a couple of other important notes of a humorous nature. Our officers heard the suspect, one of the suspects talking about the crime, and heard suspect Crawford say, "You tossed it," referring to the backpack, "way over here. I told you to toss it over there. They have cameras." And so it's very important, and obviously these individuals knew that there was perhaps cameras out and about. And the suspect, the other suspect replied, "I don't give an F," pauses, and then said, "Where's the cameras?" So obviously he did care. So what you got to see today is video policing, the benefits of video policing, active monitoring, and 3 different distinct cases during different times of the day in where individuals are being removed from our streets as a result of their involvement in criminal activity without a police officer actually monitoring that activity out in the field, and that we are monitoring it from afar. And so our active monitoring not only gives us the ability to see crimes in progress, as you saw, it gives us the ability to track suspects as they're leaving the crime scene, and allows us to zoom in on those individuals, which is important for the successful prosecution, and provide us with incredible evidence when we get into court. We had the recent shooting that occurred on Parkway where we captured it on video, and there was no opportunity for this individual to say it wasn't him that did the crime and what the motive was for his crime, or the fact it was self-defense. In fact, he was found guilty. I ended up pleading guilty, as I understand it, and I have no doubt it's because of the evidence. But what we realize in the department is that we have to invest our money, our taxpayer dollars, very wisely. This is a wise investment of taxpayer dollars for video policing. It is also a wise investment into our police cadets on the front end, lower paid employees in the Fresno Police Department that we're utilizing to monitor these video cameras. And in turn, what it does is free up our officer time in the field, free up our investigators' time in trying to put these cases together, and ultimately frees up the time it takes for a prosecutor to put their case together for successful prosecution, because it literally hands them the physical evidence to allow this case to be prosecuted. And in these difficult fiscal times, all of these measures are critical. And the message that we are sending to those in our community, number one, we're sending a message to the good residents of our community that we have our cameras in locations for their safety. But we're sending a very important message to the criminals, and that is, criminals beware. That we're not only recording your activity, your criminal activity, but we are also actively monitoring your criminal activity so that there will be not only a future arrest, but an immediate arrest, as we've seen here today. And so with that, I want to open it up for questions and thank first Mike Dodi, Rob Barnes from the city of Fresno. They are the ones that truly make this happen. What did I say? Raj. Yeah, and Raj, and he's not here, or is he? In the back? Oh, there you are. Thank you for coming by. These individuals have, they're the gurus. They're the ones that put things in place, and I'm thankful for that. Lieutenant Burke Farah, who oversees our video policing unit and Crime View, and the cadets, Nicole being one of those 9 of them that are working around the clock ensuring the safety of our citizens.